Hello, Randy from windy Quartzfest. It's Thursday morning here, and it's blowing pretty good again. Not as much as it did a couple nights ago, but and it's cool, so it's not very comfortable outside here all the time here. Anyway, I wanted to just kind of show you my setup here. I'm not going to do, or I'm not doing daily Quartzfest videos like I did last year. That ended up being an awful lot of work running around shooting everything and editing and all that. So, but I want to show you what I've done here. I made some improvements, a lot of additions here to my setup for this year, especially in power. So right in front of me, I have two Renogy 100 watt solid fold open solar panels. I've been using those for years, and I'm using those to charge the battery for the trailer. And it's sitting here putting out about 10 amps, and I really don't fool around much anymore with pointing them to get the maximum optimum. They do pretty good. The main draw on the trailer battery is when I run the furnace at night, the fan in that thing draws quite a bit of current. I also power my CPAP machine off the trailer battery. I have a 12 volt power supply brick for that. So, and just lights and a couple other little things in the trailer run off of that. So my new solar, back before Christmas on Black Friday sales, I bought a Ecoflow Delta 2 Max power station, and sometimes called a solar generator. And so it's like, I think 2,000 watts worth of storage in there. And I have these two 220 amp solar panels that work with it. And these things are really too big to be moving around all the time. So so in the about noonish on is when I get the maximum output. It probably, I think I've seen about 375 watts. So I'm not getting the maximum out, but it's enough to top off the battery every day. That white thing you see going across the top is a set of LEDs. It has a little solar panel, so it kind of lights it up at night, so hopefully people don't trip in them. So the solar panels have these, I think they call them AH4, these very common black solar panels, or solar panel connectors. And it comes with a cable with their, I think it's MC60 that goes into the back of the battery. I cut those and I put power poles on them so I can add my own extensions. The Ecoflow battery has two solar inputs, each capable of up to 60 volts at 15 amps, I believe. So I made an extension cord out of some number 12 red-black wire, and I made up this power pole Y adapter here to put the panels in series. So I'm feeding in like a little over 40 volts, and that reduces, cuts the current down in the wire, which reduces your voltage drops. So that seems to be working good. On the side of the trailer is a ZAMP connector, and this goes into the trailer batteries, which are out here on the tongue. These are just a pair of 6 volt like golf cart batteries, nothing fancy. And the Ecoflow panels go in through the hatch here. I was able to snake a wire in between some of the plywood on the bench in there, and it comes out, and I can then plug it into the battery. The other big addition to my setup this year is that I got myself a Starlink Mini dish or panel antenna system. So I have high-speed internet out here in the middle of nowhere. These Starlink dishes are everywhere out here. Our group of 8, nobody had one last year, and this year 4 of us have them. 3 minis and 1 Gen 3, I believe. So, and I power this through their AC adapter, because with the big Ecoflow battery, I have more AC than I'm really needing here. So here's my Ecoflow Delta 2 Max. I think it's about a 2 kW. It does have a lithium iron phosphate battery in there. And this was about the largest I wanted to deal with because it weighs 51 pounds when it comes to time to move it around. And it's got a display on here. So right now it shows it's 94% full. It has 307 watts coming in from the solar panels, and there's 12 watts going out. Most of that is due to the Starlink Mini, and it says it'll take 5 hours at this current charge rate to charge. I found that to be a little strange because well within the 5 hours, when it gets up to about 375 watts or closer to 400, it charges up it pretty fast. So below the display is it's hard to see here, but I think there's 2 USB-Cs and 4 USB-A's sockets on there to plug in your charging cables. And on the back it has 6 110 volt AC outlets, so I have my Keurig coffee machine plugged in there, as well as the AC adapter for the Starlink. My laptop, I'm able to charge it using the USB-C cable. I have some high current anchor cables for my laptop. So here's the phone app, and it shows me, again, I got 307 watts going in from the solar panels. It's got 12 watts going out. There's there it's 30. It kind of bounces around. There's about 18 watts on the AC that's feeding the Starlink, and about 12 watts on the DC output. This isn't a great battery to do ham radio things on, because the 12 volt DC output is only good for 10 amps. I think the battery inside is 48 or 52 volts or something. It's quite high. So, and the other thing you can do on here is that you have AC, 12 volt DC, and USB, and you can turn those ports on and off. This is kind of a neat thing with this battery. You can control the AC charge speeds, so how many watts it'll draw when you're charging it off the AC, and you can move that slider here. I have it set for 300 watts now, but you can run it up to 1800 watts. So depending on what your AC source is, like if I plugged it into my generator and if I had something else running in the trailer, I could run that up to the top there until the generator starts to cough and back it back down. Or if you're at home, you got a bunch of other stuff on that circuit, you could charge it at a lower rate. Or if you just want to just top it up or whatever, you can just set it for like 200-300 watts and let it run. So that's kind of a neat feature on it. So we're looking down here on the floor behind it. It's kind of hard to see, but on the side of the trailer here, I have a set of power poles which are connected to the trailer battery, and that's where my CPAC machine plugs in. Red black wire here is the one that's coming in from the outside to plug into the solar connector. And again, there's 2 inputs, each at up to 60 volts at 15 amps. So you can really hit this thing hard with solar if you have it. And then there's 6 AC outlets on the back. That white block is the Starlink adapter. The Starlink takes anywhere from 12 to 48 volts. So you got to be careful if you're running it on 12 volts. Your voltage drop through the cables. If you get too much, it'll start to complain. So up here on the dinette table, I have my laptop. It's a Asus something or other. It takes USB-C charging. I had the cable in, but it was kept displaying on the screen, running on battery, running on AC, running on battery, running on AC. So I just unplugged the USB-C. It'll run for quite a while. I have this RCA TV as a second monitor. I found this in a store years ago. It has every input you can imagine, RF, HDMI, analog, all that stuff goes in, and it's a 12 volt TV. So it came with a cigarette lighter cord, and that's what I have plugged into the back of the Ecoflow to power that from the 12-volt output. And I've been running FT8, a lot of it on 10 meters in here, using my IC7100, along with the AH4 tuner on the back with a 23-foot vertical wire. The other new thing I bought is a lifetime 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery. This has Bluetooth in it. It does not have the heaters. I don't deal with anything cold enough to bother with the heater. So that's what's running the IC7100, which is located on this board here between the seats. I also have an Elenco AC supply there if I'm in a campground that has AC. So that's my additions to the power here in my camp setup. Having all this big battery here, this Ecoflow battery with all this AC is really kind of a game changer. I haven't fired up my generator yet, and I only have used about 30% of the battery for any single day. So it's usually fully charged by about 1:30 in the afternoon. But it allows me to, like, plug in my Keurig. You know, you hit the button on there when that heating element's going. It's drawing close to 1,500 watts. There is a little fan in there on the inverter, but it's very quiet. You'd really have to listen closely to hear it, so it's not annoying at all. I have a microwave oven in here, and I haven't used it with it yet, powered off the battery. I can open up this cabinet here, and in the back I can unplug it. I'd have to use an extension cord to get down here to the floor, but that's all doable. I did run an AC extension cord over to my TV here in the trailer, but I wasn't able to pick up any channels. Oh well. So that's my update from Quartzfest with the new goodies that I've picked up here in the last couple months and brought out here. I really like the Ecoflow battery. The Starlink is kind of neat. I bought it, $600 for the Mini, and but 5 days after I bought it, they had a Black Friday sale. So I sent them a message, and they said anybody who bought it within 30 days of the sale, they basically gave me $150 service credit. The plan I'm on is the 50 gigabyte for $50 roaming plan. And if you go over that, it's $1 a gigabyte. But what's nice about it, you can pause it. So as soon as I'm done here, I can hit the pause button on the account, and I won't be charged for any additional months coming up until I bring it back online. So it's a great thing for camping, working portable, remote. If you had doing an MCOM or an emergency thing, you could take that out in the field and turn it on and be able to provide Wi-Fi to people. They could email their family members. You could do WinLink through it using TCP/IP instead of HF. And so we'll see what other uses I find for that in the future. So I think I'll wrap this video up now, and maybe do a couple more shorts here from Quartzfest before I leave. So thank you for watching. Please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and share, and all that good stuff. We'll see you again. Randy, K7AGE 73.